Hello everyone, my name is v.90 and welcome to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program, version 0.9, also known as the beta from better, stumbling on my words here, beta than ever version, done on better than ever, of course. Um, to be honest, I tried to do a bit of recording yesterday, and uh, I just ran into the same thing I have all the time, and I really don't like the contract system. I just don't like how the contracts work. They don't seem quite right to me. I liked like the first like four that like you're required to play, but then all the randomly generated ones, I just don't like them. They don't make much sense, and parameters don't exactly always work with your mods. Like you always have to reach certain speed and altitude requirements at the same time. Well, that's a little bit hard to manage. So we're going back to science science mode instead of career mode. I have a number of mods installed, even more than I have before. It's causing the game to sometimes crash, but we're gonna hope that it doesn't crash too much. I'll just describe them as we see them. Otherwise, it'll take a while to go over all of them. I don't even have a list written down somewhere. So, gave myself 9,000 starting science. Jada, what does the scouter say about his starting science? It's over 9,000. Can't remember if 9,000 is the proper amount to unlock everything. I think it might be closer to over autopilot. Seems to be new. I remember somewhere between 8,000 and 12,000 is about how much you need. Get the Jaj done. Care more about the Jaj than anything else. Obviously, you can see all the mods, well, all the part mods here if you look at the side, but it's going to describe them as I attach them to our vehicles and stuff. So these are air filters and stuff. That's fine, I guess. And propulsion, I'm not rushing to that. We are going to play as if we're in career mode. I'm going to do steady, incremental increases in the difficulty of our missions and such. Some of these parts I don't actually need, but unlocking them anyway, just so it's not a mess. Somewhat useful. I don't really make space planes, so I don't really get much of the airplane parts. These are huge engine parts, but I guess we'll tend to use the really simple rockets for a very long time. The smallest size, I should say. It's the biggest stuff. I don't have enough science for, so I was wrong about the science. Or rather, how much we needed. But most of the stuff that's not unlocked isn't very important. We'll be getting more science, of course, because I will be doing the science gathering and stuff, even though it's not necessarily necessary. Guess we'll just grab ion propulsion right now. The last amount of science we had. Let's hire some Kerbals. Bill, Bob, and Jebediah all have max stats. Don't think we're going to use them. Kind of want to just have slow progression on them. So I'll probably just use the other Kerbals. Actually got a second scientist this time. Last test run I didn't get a scientist, I just got a bunch of pilots. We're Right, are we ready to start then? I think we are. New tutorial text and stuff. I think we'll be starting with a good old satellite probe. I'm just trying to think about exactly how I want to do it. I think instead of going straight to the kind of like a Sputnik type flight, we're going to roleplay as if this is the very, very beginning of a space program. And what we're going to start with is refitting, or well, this time we'll just start with a, we'll call it a warhead, an ICBM. That's what the first scientific rockets were based off of, was ICBMs. Oh no. For some reason tweak scale isn't always working. Don't know why. I think maybe it is working, and it just like, I think this part above it is a 0.625 meter part. So this part, when I attached it to it, it was like, oh, the part above me is a 0.65 or 625 meter part. Maybe I should also be a 0.625 meter part. And so it resized itself. It's not really what we want right now. Right, so our super basic ICBM is probably just going to be strapped onto a solid rocket booster. Starting incredibly simple here. It's nothing interesting, but we'll slowly make the game more interesting as we go. Just like to have a natural progression of how like the real space program went. If I don't stick a battery on this thing, it's accidentally minimize the game. Okay. I don't stick a battery on this thing, it's probably just gonna run out of power and I won't be able to fly it. Yeah, we have to have these SAS units on this probe body at least right now. They changed it so that the Sputnik probe has to have a SAS, otherwise you can't use SAS, and that makes things very hard. I need an advanced menu here. There's too many parts in this category, utility. Is there a battery section in this expanded list? I know I got to the batteries right when I did this, but solar panels have their own section. Generator, somewhat similar. Yeah, they added this new subcategories menu, but I'm still getting used to it. I don't really know where batteries would be on this though, so I think we just have to go back to the good old-fashioned list. But the lame old-fashioned way here. Probably getting tall. Didn't combine them into one thing, I guess. I like having my parts clipped though. Aerodynamics, structural. It's more more of my mods update. So the sort by function thing should work a little bit better. Alright. Now it's mostly ready. Staging, of course. It's pretty much right. I just have to make a stage. This dynamics, we need the I like this new highlight that it has when you scroll over these pieces. It's much better than how it was before. Right, then we have to throttle the engine down here. 40. Maybe a bit, probably a little bit overkill. What will we call this ICBM? Like Osiris. I don't think that's spelled right, but yeah, well, I mean, the Egyptian god of death. So, it doesn't crash here, because this is where the game often crashes if it's going to crash. Nope, not that time. So what mods we got going on? Well, you can see that the clouds and stuff means that we have some beautification mods on. That's the EVE mod, Environmental Visual Enhancements mod, that's doing that. We've unfortunately, the Better Atmospheres mod got discontinued. Another mod I have, which is why I'm not talking right now, is a really cool mod that you guys can't see, but I can. It's a mod for my G510 keyboard, Logitech keyboard. It has a small LCD display, and I found this mod that will put like the map menu, like this thing, sort of, on it. It's pretty cool. It's going to be very helpful. I won't have to bring this map up all the time while I'm flying. Let's go ahead and attach all of these mods to this toolbar. Only one of the mods actually needed the toolbar, which is kind of a waste, because I think a lot of things are defaulting to this, even though they should be over here. But that's fine. Enhanced nav ball. It's the one that makes the nav ball work a little bit better. Final Frontier is a cool mod once we get to our Kerbals that lets them earn badges and medals and things. It's really neat. Attack life support. Obviously, it's life support. Distant object enhancements. Another kind of visual mod that makes it so moons and stuff that are far away are a little bit easier to see. Science alert mod. This one's not going to work with this probe that we're using, but as I enter new biomes and stuff, it'll light up and make a noise telling me that I got more science to research. It's incredibly helpful. Then we have deadly reentry and Ferrum Aerospace adds the realistic atmosphere. I'm going to open that window so we can see that menu. For you. Not exactly sure what mod this one's from. Then we have, I think this one is probably real shoots. But that should do it for us right now. Let's throttle up and go. A little bit slow liftoff, but this thing's probably going to rapidly start going too fast as we get higher into the atmosphere. That's what the solid rocket booster tends to do when I use it this way. Since we have Ferrum Aerospace, we have to do the steady little turn instead of the hard right that you'd normally do. Stock mood. And now we're starting to go a little bit fast. You can see the Mach effects and such. bobbing up and down a little. I'm not exactly sure why that kind of thing happens. Oh, now we're going a little bit too fast. It's a solid rocket booster, I can't slow it down. Apoaps has reached space. Now I'm gonna try to just flatten out the periaps. I actually put this thing in orbit. I was gonna say, shouldn't be able to get into orbit with this. Yeah. Stuck inside the fairing. I kind of forgot that you have to jettison the side things before you jettison the top part. Can roll out of it sometimes. There we go. A little weird. Now that part really looks like a missile is gonna just drop back down into the ocean there. Let's take a look at our trajectory here. So that's not working because we're not going far enough into orbit to do it. The trajectories mod that'll tell us exactly where we're gonna splash down. It's like we're just gonna land in the water off of this peninsula over here. Yay, we're in space. So, interesting fact. The first object to touch space, everyone just thinks Sputnik was the first thing in space, is actually not true. The first thing to touch space is the V2 rockets. The Germans actually made it to space first with the V2 rockets. But there just wasn't a probe or anything inside of it, so it's not interesting in any way. So that's kind of why we're starting with a tinned missile here instead of a science mission. Of course, I have so many mods running that the game's lagging. It's a real shame that the 64-bit version of the game doesn't work that well. Because I would love to have the extra memory capacity and stuff. It's our re-entry effects. Our heat shield incinerate itself. Out of superheating part of it, now we're going through the Mach speed effects. Now we're going pretty slow. It's going to go straight down to the water. Those heat shields have so much drag that it's almost better to just keep the heat shield on. Let's cancel the mission to the Space Center. Yeah, those heat shields have so much drag that you can almost better to just keep them on instead of jettisoning the mass. Like I did a test with a probe like that, and then you stick like one of the really big heat shields on it. It's actually enough to slow it down to not explode when it lands without a parachute or anything. It's kind of funny. I'm going to save it real quick because it has crashed on me before. Alright, so now the actual space program begins. Engineers have taken the ICBM rocket bodies, considering how to put something into orbit with it. You know? For some reason this zooms out quite a bit now. Move all this nonsense. Switch to this box probe. Let's build the same probe, but I can't really. I'm not that creative. What I want it to look like. Just build this one with battery packs like that. I feel like a lot of science gear is missing here. Could be wrong. Yeah, a bunch of antennas are missing from the, what's that pack called? The, remote tech mod. Gonna have to fix it. I'm running that custom version of it I made that gets rid of the actual need to build satellite communication networks and stuff, just because I like the look of the dishes and stuff, and I don't really like the mod itself. That should do it. This one has built-in SAS, so it doesn't need to escort it. Of course, the first probe in space was Sputnik, and it didn't do anything other than just transmit data, or just have a radio. Oh, they're all max level. That's a little bit boring. Oh well. Custom 1, I want the antennas. No. I'm gonna toggle all of them. I think so. Alright, now best way to put something into orbit is to have a second stage. Oh, not that big. It's probably a little bit too small. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, I forgot to add another mod for those low-profile engines. So we have an option of this one or this one. I want this one. Anything just for the fact it has a better fairing when I attach it to a coupler. I don't need that big to coupler. Give it a little bit extra thrust, not a whole lot more though. It's already going pretty fast. We will close up the nose cone. Well, first I'm going to make sure the staging is correct, otherwise bad things will happen. Alright, now I can close it up. Expanded. Style, make sure that's in the right spot. Alright, it's ready to go. Call this one Prometheus. That's the correct way to spell Prometheus. I could be wrong, though. Could also be wrong on how much things are connected in a little bit of an odd place, but it doesn't matter. Alright. Bring that up. This up. Our thrust is going to be subpar for a little while here, and then, just like before, it's going to start getting out of hand once we get up higher. I don't know if we have enough fuel or not. I tend to underestimate if I have enough fuel or not, but it's a little bit harder when you run with a solid rocket booster instead of a liquid booster. Feeling this is not quite going to be enough fuel. Booster's starting to run out and not all that high yet. Well, Rapoaps is starting to get up there, actually. Guess I'm probably going to have to burn some of our second stage to get into space. Instead of saving it completely to circularize, but that's not too important. Tend to have excess in that second stage. Yeah. But it didn't have to burn very long. Now our Apoapsis is in space. Looks pretty cool, actually. Second stage looks neat. We're kind of tumbling here, though. Why are you... Damn it. Does this probe really have no... It says it has SAS, but it seems to be lying. Not doing anything right now. Let's hope it tumbles back into the right way here real quick. Whoa! Why did it do that? I had to turn the engine on just to get control. Okay, I guess these probe biases have no control over themselves anymore. This is so dumb. Shouldn't matter. We're fine, but... I changed it so... Knew the Sputnik one needs SAS, but this one said it has SAS in it, so... I don't know why this one's spinning out of control. Control yourself. Oh, I guess you're just gonna spin. It's in orbit. Pretty eccentric one. It's only barely above the orbit in the periapse. It did it. Spinning. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and have a good day.